Let's shift gears and talk about Libya just for a second. This is clip number 8. Remember Hillary Clinton, you had this report came out, and it said the State Department was a total disaster. They completely botched the security. It was inept. It was ineptitude on steroids. They totally botched it. But the whole, and remember Hillary Clinton picked the members of this committee. And so predictably, they don't blame anybody. There's nobody that's blamed in this report. They blame these lower level bureaucracies within the State Department. That's where the problem was. They goofed up. But listen to this. The board did not find reasonable cause to determine that any individual U.S. government employee breached his or her duty. So this whole thing was designed to whitewash Hillary Clinton, take the heat off of Hillary Clinton. In fact, we find out late this morning, 3 bureaucrats in the State Department, low-level flunkies that you never heard of, that I never heard of, that we will never hear about again, they resigned. They took the fall. They were compelled to fall on their swords to protect Hillary Clinton's chances to be president in 2016. And Hillary Clinton claims that she fell at home and had a concussion last week, and she's on sick leave. She can't testify, can't come. She's homesick. And again, it happened at home. Nobody saw it. No witnesses, no medical record, no medical report. She just hit her head. She fainted, hit her head, and now she's out sick and can't come in to testify this week on Benghazi. And there's a reason for that. She would be crucified because this was on her watch. This is her State Department. Here's Charles Krauthammer explaining what's going on with Hillary Clinton. Clip 8. Go.
Former UN Ambassador John Bolton calls this a diplomatic illness. And we heard from Victoria Nuland that it's a bad bug. I think that perhaps it's a Benghazi allergy. She seems to have a severe Benghazi allergy. 5 days after the attack, she was not out there to address the American people. She sent out somebody whom the president himself said had no idea, was not involved at all in Benghazi. And now she's supposed to speak to the Congress about this. She has this illness. Now, I'm not going to say she doesn't have one. I'd be happy to give her a neurologic exam, but in the absence of that, I'll take her word. But there is something strange about this. She did say, ostentatiously, I take full responsibility for this, for the attack in Benghazi. She said that during the campaign, which is completely and utterly meaningless. What does that mean? In Britain, when there was an invasion of the Falklands, the foreign secretary resigned over it, even though it wasn't his fault, as a matter of principle. If it happens on your watch, you resign. That obviously isn't going to happen in her case, but she won't even speak about it, which ought to be the minimal requirement.
So Charles Krauthammer, she has a Benghazi allergy. And here is John Bolton, clip 9. This is the clip that Charles Krauthammer was referring to. John Bolton, former ambassador to the UN, also talking about Hillary Clinton.
Well, I think she's going to have to testify at some point. And, you know, every foreign service officer in every foreign ministry in the world knows the phrase I'm about to use. When you don't want to go to a meeting or a conference or an event, you have a diplomatic illness. And this is a diplomatic illness to beat the band. I mean, I certainly hope it's nothing serious, but this was revealed in a way that I think was not transparent. And I think there's an obligation here, especially if Secretary Clinton decides to run for president, to indicate what happened. She may be testifying this week, but she's not going to escape it forever.
And this is a third time now that she's developed one of these diplomatic illnesses to avoid awkward public appearances. Well, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Agnes in Laurinburg, North Carolina. Agnes, you're on Focal Point. What's on your mind?
I have several things on my mind. First of all, I know we're supposed to have a right of freedom of speech. The second thing I wanted to bring up, God maybe has turned his back on the United States. The United States was supposed to be one of the most recognized religious countries that there was, but not anymore. And the Bible says not to fall in the hands of an angry God. And I'm quite sure God is angry with us because I hear your callers and listen to you all the time. My first time ever calling on your radio program here. The other thing I wanted to say is everybody seems to have a problem, you know, about race guns and prayer, God, or whatever the case may be. First of all, what took one woman to take prayer out of school. So that showed God that they don't want prayer in school, but they want to teach them about children having babies, and I don't understand that. Then the other thing I don't understand is every day all these parents that are having abortion, that is murder also.
Yeah. All right, Agnes, listen, I'm sorry, I got to let you go. We're up against a hard break. But, you know, you can have an abortion without parents even finding out about it if you're a student, but you can't let that student pray, can't let the student read the Bible in class, but we can sure get them to an abortionist without their parents knowing about it. Focal Point in the FR Talk, back in 2.